How many times have you stood on the edge of a decision, a precipice of action, and felt an invisible force hold you back? You can feel the potential, the man you were meant to be, waiting on the other side, but the signal in your gut is screaming. Danger. Your mind floods with 1,000 scenarios of failure, of judgment, of loss. It's the quiet paralysis, the silent retreat you make before the battle has even begun, and the shame that follows when you realize, once again, that fear has won. But imagine for a moment you wake up tomorrow and that voice is gone. Not managed, not negotiated with, but silent. Imagine looking at a challenge not with hesitation, but with a cold, clear certainty. Visualize yourself moving through life with a relentless forward momentum, where every step is deliberate, every word is spoken with command, and the feeling of fear is nothing more than a faint, irrelevant echo from a past you no longer inhabit. This isn't a fantasy. It is a state of being that is forged. This is not another video with shallow advice. This is a recoding session. Today, you will receive the operational code to dismantle fear at its source. We will not teach you to cope with fear. We will teach you how to hunt it, expose it for the liar that it is, and build a mind so disciplined that fear has no room left to live. This is the manual for your liberation, if you are ready to stop negotiating with your weakness and start forging your power. Then your training begins now. Scription is your commitment. It is the first step in the war against your lesser self. Subscribe and enlist. You feel it in your gut before your mind can even name it. A sudden jolt in your chest, a cold tightening in your stomach. Your thoughts, once clear, become a chaotic storm of what if. It's the signal, the ancient primal alarm that has been hardwired into your DNA for 1,000,000 years, and you have been trained by society and by your own past to believe this. Signal means one thing: stop, retreat. You have been taught that this feeling, this fear, is the enemy you must avoid at all costs. That is the fundamental lie that has kept you caged. This feeling is not a character flaw. It is a biological program, an outdated software designed for a physical world of predators and immediate threats. It was never designed to be the chief executive officer of your life, yet you have handed it the crown. The core error is not in feeling the fear. The error is in obeying it as an absolute command. The true enemy, the one that truly poisons your potential and sabotages your legacy, is not the feeling itself. It is the hesitation it creates. It is the pause you take. It is the silent, slow surrender known as inaction. Courage is not the absence of fear. A man without fear is a fool. Courage is the decision to act while fear is screaming in your ear. It is the mastery of movement in the face of paralysis. It is the cold, hard discipline to advance when every instinct tells you to shrink. This is the first law of your new code. You do not wait for the feeling to fade. You act, and in acting, you command the feeling to heal. This is not theory. It is a law of nature, proven by every great man who has ever bent the world to his will. Consider Thomas Edison, a man who faced the signal of failure 10,000 times in his quest for the electric light. Society would call each failed attempt a reason for fear, a reason to doubt, a reason to stop. But Edison was operating on a higher law. He understood that the signal was not the master. He was not failing. He was in a state of relentless disciplined action. He was gathering data. He was moving. While lesser men would have been paralyzed by the fear of repeated failure, his constant momentum crushed that fear. His action was the command that forced a new reality into existence. This is the code you install today. As you listen to these words, your mind is already beginning to build a new neural pathway. A pathway where the signal of fear no longer connects to the stop command, but instead connects to engage. You are rewriting the program. You are the man who moves forward even when his hands shake. You are the one who speaks the truth even when his voice trembles. Fear is allowed to be a passenger in your body, but it is no longer allowed to touch the steering wheel. That authority has been revoked permanently. You are the action. You are the momentum. You are the command. Now we forge this new law into your very being. This is not something you merely understand. It is something you become. Take a deep breath. Stand up straight. Repeat these words aloud, so your own ears can hear the command and your entire nervous system is forced to comply. Let your voice be the hammer that forges the new you. I am the action, not the fear. My movement is my command. I do not pause. I advance. And with this new understanding, you find a powerful, almost paradoxical reason for gratitude. The next time you feel that jolt of fear, that internal alarm, do not curse it. Acknowledge it and be grateful. Be grateful for the undeniable proof that you are standing at the very edge of your growth. That feeling is the marker. It is the flag planted on the border of the territory you are about to conquer. It is a sign that what you are doing matters. Thank the fear for the signal, and then show it who is in command. Your order of execution for the next 24 hours is this: identify one single necessary action that you have been delaying out of fear. It can be a difficult conversation, the first step of a new project, a phone call you've been avoiding. Your mission is to execute that one action. No negotiation, no debate. You move before the internal committee of doubt has time to assemble. This is your first tactical victory. This is how you begin. You have now taken the first step in rewiring your identity. You have proven through action that your command is superior to your conditioning. The feeling of moving through that fear, that is the new foundation. Remember it, build on it. This is not a one-time act. It is the beginning of your new way of life. You have faced the real enemy in action and you have won the first battle. It begins with a single thought, a whisper of doubt. What if you fail? But it never stops there. In an instant, that whisper becomes a full-blown cinematic production inside your head. You see the faces of people laughing. You hear the phantom voices of judgment. You feel the crushing, gut-wrenching humiliation of falling short, of not being enough. Fear's greatest weapon isn't a direct assault. It is its mastery of storytelling. It is a propagandist, an artist of disaster, painting vivid pictures of a future that has not happened and may never happen. You must understand the mechanism to dismantle it. This is a hack against your own biology. Fear crafts a narrative so emotionally compelling that your nervous system cannot tell the difference between this imagined scenario and reality. When you repeatedly rehearse the story of your failure, your body is flooded with the chemistry of defeat before you have even taken the first step. Your heart races, your palms sweat, your muscles tense for retreat. You are living in a prison built by a lie, and you are both the prisoner and the guard, reinforcing the walls with every loop of that negative story. But here is the law that shatters the prison walls. The tool that fear uses to enslave you is the same tool you will use to liberate yourself. That tool is your imagination. If a story can program you for defeat, a better, more powerful story can program you for victory. The operating system is neutral. It will run whichever program you install with the most conviction and repetition. You will stop being a passive audience to fear's horror stories. You will become the deliberate, relentless author of your own epic. You will write a new script, and you will rehearse it until it becomes your reality. Consider the Wright brothers. In a world that told a single, unified story of human limitation, that man could not fly, they were rehearsing a different narrative in the workshop of their minds. They didn't just see blueprints of wood and fabric. They saw themselves soaring. They felt the wind beneath the wings of a machine that had not yet proven it could work. They heard the sound of the engine conquering gravity, this internal story. This vivid rehearsal of victory, repeated with a burning faith, was the force that allowed them to defy all external evidence and logic. They literally wrote a new story for humanity and then built the machine to match it. This power is your birthright. As you internalize this truth, you begin to reclaim your authority. You are not the victim of your thoughts. You are the director. You choose the scenes, you cast the hero, you dictate the ending. If you can imagine failure in excruciating detail, you can imagine victory with absolute precision. If you can rehearse disaster, you can rehearse domination. If you can feel the anxiety of the worst-case scenario, you can feel the certainty of the best-case scenario. The choice to flip that script is yours, and it is available to you in this very second. You are the author. Now we declare your sovereignty over the narrative of your mind. This is the moment you fire the liar. Stand up, let your posture reflect the authority you are claiming. Speak these words, not as a hope, but as a declaration of fact. This is your new law. I am the author of my mind. I reject the stories of fear. I write the script of my victory. And now feel a wave of profound gratitude for the very power that fear hijacked, your imagination. This faculty is a direct line to the infinite. It is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It is the engine of all creation. Be grateful that you possess this force. Fear showed you its power by turning it against you. You will now thank it for the lesson, reclaim that power, and wield it with the intention of a king building his empire. Your imagination is no longer a playground for anxiety. It is a forge for your destiny. Your order of execution for tonight is a training in mental authorship. Before you sleep, you will sit for 5 minutes, close your eyes, and you will deliberately direct a movie of your own victory. Take one specific goal you are pursuing. See yourself achieving it. Build the scene with color, with sound, with texture. Feel the emotions of that triumph, the pride, the certainty, a deep sense of rightness. Rehearse this victory until it feels more real than the failure's fear tried to sell you. This is your first act as the new author. You have just taken back the pen. Every time you consciously choose your internal story, you starve the liar and you feed the hero. This is not a game of positive thinking. This is the high-stakes engineering of your own soul. You are a creator. You are an author. Commit to this truth. The story of your life is being written in this moment. Make sure you are the one holding the pen. You tell yourself you are being strategic. You say, I'll do it when the time is right, or I just need to think it through one more time. You are trying to reason with the fear, to negotiate a peace treaty with an enemy whose only goal is your unconditional surrender. But the moment of perfect courage you are waiting for will never arrive. Instead, with each passing day of your avoidance, the thing you fear grows larger in your mind. Its shadow lengthens. Its power over you multiplies, nourished by the silence and the stillness of your inaction. Here is the diagnosis, and it is absolute. You are feeding the monster by hiding from it. Fear does not die with time. It festers in the dark of your procrastination. It does not shrink with intellectual analysis. It expands to fill the space you grant it. Fear is a phantom that is terrified of the light, and the light is your direct, head-on action. You have been treating a disease that thrives on stillness with more stillness, and you wonder why you are not healed. The formula you have been using is fundamentally broken. The code that overwrites this crippling program is brutally simple. Exposure. You do not think your way out of a cage. You break your way out. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a freezing, ice-cold pool. You can stand there for an hour, dipping a toe in, retreating, analyzing the water's temperature. With every retreat, the idea of the cold becomes more monstrous, more unbearable. Or you can take a breath, silence the debate, and jump the shock. It is immediate. It is total. But within seconds, your body adapts. The imagined terror was infinitely more powerful than the physical reality. This is a universal law. Your mind's exaggeration is always neutralized by your body's direct experience. Look at the life of Abraham Lincoln, a man who led a nation through its darkest hour. He was not a man free from fear. He was a man defined by his constant, willing exposure to it. He faced the fear of civil war, of sending men to their deaths, of a nation collapsing under his watch. He did not hide in an office waiting for confidence. To find him, he exposed himself daily to the raw, brutal facts of his reality, to the scathing criticism, to the crushing weight of responsibility. His courage was not a quality he was born with. It was a callus, forged and thickened through relentless, repeated exposure to the very pressures that would have disintegrated a lesser man. This is the training. You deliberately move toward the source of the fear. You make the uncomfortable your new home. You practice the conversation you dread. You show up to the event where you feel like an imposter. The first time is terror. The second time is discomfort. The 10th time is routine. The 100th time is freedom. As you do this, you are not just performing an action. You are recoding your identity. You are becoming the man who jumps into the cold water. You are the one who walks toward the sound of the cannons. You are no longer the one who waits. You are the one who engages. Now we make this principle a part of your DNA. This is not just a strategy. It is who you are. This is a declaration of war against avoidance. Stand and let your voice be the instrument of your transformation. Declare it as law. I do not run from the storm. I walk into it. My discomfort is my training ground. In this moment, feel gratitude for the very challenges in your life that you have been cursing. Be grateful for the cold water. It is not a punishment. It is a gymnasium for your soul, provided by the universe. Each difficult task, each uncomfortable situation is a piece of training equipment designed to forge your resilience and build your power. They are not obstacles on your path. They are the path itself. Thank them for the opportunity they give. You too prove your new code. Your order of execution for the next 24 hours is a mission of tactical exposure. You will identify one small thing you have been avoiding, not your biggest dragon, but a small lizard. It could be sending a direct email, asking a clarifying question in a meeting, or starting the first 5 minutes of a task you've been putting off. Your mission is not to achieve a perfect outcome. Your mission is to simply complete the act of exposure, to prove to yourself that you can and will move toward the pressure. That is the only metric of success. You are now armed with one of the most powerful laws of personal transformation. The only way out is through. Every act of exposure is a vote cast for your stronger self. You are building tolerance. You are building mastery. You are becoming unshakable, not by avoiding the impacts, but by taking them again and again until they no longer have the power to move you. Commit to this path, the path of direct, unrelenting confrontation. This is the path of men. We have spoken of fear as an external force to be confronted, but now we go to the source. We go to the battlefield where every war is truly won or lost, the 6 inches between your ears. It is the silent, exhausting conflict that rages within your own skull, a relentless barrage of self-doubt, of criticism, of worst-case scenarios. Playing on an endless loop, you feel like a prisoner of your own mind, a king who has been overthrown and now listens to the chaotic shouts of traitors and fools in his own throne room. This internal noise drains your energy, sabotages your focus, and strangles your ambition before it can ever draw a full breath. Here is the diagnosis, and you must accept it as law. Your mind is a powerful, untamed weapon that, through neglect, has been aimed squarely at you. It is not defective. It is undisciplined. You have allowed any and every thought, every fear, every doubt, every fleeting anxiety to have an equal voice, to hold the microphone, to command the stage. Your fundamental error is one of mistaken identity. You have confused the storm of your thoughts with the truth of who you are. You believe you are the chaos, when in fact you were built to be the silent, unshakable sky that holds the chaos. The code that liberates you from this prison is a powerful and ancient truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. You are the commander standing on the watchtower, and the thoughts are merely messengers, soldiers, and sometimes spies passing below. You do not have to believe them. You do not have to salute them. You have the absolute authority to challenge them, to dismiss them, and most importantly, to replace them with your own commands, issued from a place of clear and definite purpose. From this moment on, your mind is no longer a democracy. It is a monarchy, and you are the king. Consider the mind of Andrew Carnegie. He did not forge an industrial empire that dwarfed nations with a mind plagued by indecision. He built it through ruthless, absolute mental discipline. He understood that his inner world would inevitably construct his outer world. He guarded the gates of his mind with the ferocity of a royal guard, allowing entry only to thoughts that were aligned with his definite purpose. The fears of economic depressions, the whispers of competitors, the doubts of the masses, these were not given real estate in his mind. His mind was not a public forum. It was a fortress, a command center from which he issued the mental orders that would shape steel, build cities, and change the world. He was the master of his inner kingdom first. This is the power you reclaim now. You stand guard. You interrogate every thought that seeks entry. You choose what to amplify and what to starve. Train your mind or be trained by it. Program your thoughts or be programmed by them. Command your inner world or be a slave to it. This is not a metaphor. It is the fundamental task of a sovereign man. You are the programmer. You are the commander. Your mind is a powerful and loyal instrument, awaiting the clear, firm instructions of its rightful master. Now is the time for your coronation. This is the moment you officially reclaim the throne. Let your own voice issue the decree that establishes your reign over your inner world. Speak it with the authority of a man taking back what is rightfully his. I am the commander of my mind. My thoughts do not rule me. I rule my thoughts. And now feel a profound gratitude for the very nature of the mind you have been given. It is designed to be shaped. It is built to be programmed. It is neuroplastic. Be grateful that you are not permanently stuck with the mind you currently have, but that you possess the raw material to forge the mind you require. Your mind's capacity to change, to learn, to adapt is your greatest asset. It is the ultimate proof that you are not a stone statue, but a master sculptor in the constant act of creating your ultimate self. Your order of execution for the next 24 hours is a mission of mental guard duty. For one full day, you will become the sentinel at the gates of your mind. Every time a fearful, doubtful, or self-defeating thought arises, you will not fight it or suppress it. You will simply notice it, and with the authority of a commander. You will say internally, I see this thought, and it is dismissed. You will then deliberately and immediately replace it with a thought that is aligned with your highest purpose. If the thought is, I can't do this, you dismiss it and install, I am capable of learning and executing. This is the training. You have just reclaimed the territory that matters most. This practice, this mental discipline, is the highest and most important work you will ever do. All your external battles are won or lost here first, in the quiet of your own mind. Commit to this discipline as if your life depends on it, because it does. The quality of your thoughts inexorably determines the quality of your life. Guard them, command them, and watch as your outer world reorganizes itself to obey your new inner law. There is a unique and corrosive pain that comes not from spectacular failure, but from a life lived timidly in the safe zone. It is the quiet, nagging ache of your own untapped potential. It is the ghostly presence of the man you know you could be, haunting the hallways of your comfortable, predictable life. You have diligently followed the world's rules of safety and avoidance, only to find that you have built yourself a very secure cage, a cage built from missed opportunities, unspoken truths, and silent daily surrenders. This is the slow erosion of a legacy, the tragedy of a song that was never sung. The diagnosis for this condition is a catastrophic navigational error. Your entire life you have been taught that the feeling of fear is a stop sign, a blazing red light, a universal warning to halt, to retreat, to seek shelter. You have been reading the most important signal in your life completely, fatally backward. Fear does not mean wrong way. It is not a warning that you are heading toward destruction. It is a compass needle vibrating with immense energy. And it is pointing directly, without fail, at the precise territory you must conquer next. The code that corrects this error is a radical, permanent recalibration of your internal guidance system. It is this: where the fear is, there your growth is. From this day forward, you will learn to see fear not as a barrier, but as a gateway. That feeling of intense resistance, that fire in your chest when you contemplate a bold move, is the universe confirming that you are standing at the threshold of your own evolution. The business you are terrified to launch, the difficult conversation you are avoiding, the higher standard you are afraid to live by, these are not your enemies. They are your doorways, clearly marked. Look at the mind of Henry Ford. He did not aim for a slightly better, safer horse-drawn carriage. His vision was of a world that terrified the established order. The concept of mass-producing a complex machine for the common man was not a safe bet. It was revolutionary and widely considered insane. He faced the immense fear of financial ruin, of public ridicule, of catastrophic failure. But his vision of legacy, of putting an entire nation on wheels, was infinitely more compelling to him than his desire for personal comfort. He used the world's resistance and fear as his compass, proving that where the greatest opposition lies, the greatest opportunity and legacy are also found. This is how you will now navigate. You see the fear and you recognize the signal for what it is. You lean into the resistance. You walk toward the fire because you now understand that its purpose is to forge you, not to consume you. The fear is the signpost. The discomfort is the direction. The life you truly want is waiting for you on the other side of your calculated, disciplined action. You are a navigator. You are a pioneer. You are the man who uses fear to find the edge of his own map and then bravely steps off of it into new territory. Now you will permanently recalibrate your internal compass. This is a declaration of your new navigational principle. Let your voice set your new true north. Let the sound anchor this new reality in your soul. My fear is my compass. I move toward my growth. My legacy is worth more than my comfort. In this moment, feel a sense of profound gratitude for the clarity of this choice. Be grateful that you can feel the high cost of inaction. That ache of potential regret is a sacred gift. It is your soul's alarm system, reminding you that you were made for more than a safe and quiet life. Be grateful for the feeling of fear itself, for it is no longer a monster hiding in the shadows, but a bright, shining arrow pointing you directly toward your destiny. It is the faithful guide you never knew you had. Your order of execution for the next 24 hours is a mission of reconnaissance. Take out a piece of paper. Write down your single most important goal. Now, below it, write down the 3 biggest fears that are acting as a wall between you and that goal. Look at that list. That is not a list of obstacles. That is your new personalized treasure map. Your mission is to pick the smallest fear on that list and take one single physical step to move toward it. You are simply practicing reading the compass and advancing one step in the direction it points. You now stand at the great crossroads every man must face: the sharp temporary pain of discipline, or the dull permanent ache of regret, the comfort and predictability of the harbor, or the glory and uncertainty of the open sea. Your legacy is being written in this moment, with every choice you make to either heed the call of the compass or to shrink back into the shadows. Commit now to the path of the pioneer. The cost of the journey is high, but the price of staying behind is everything. You know the cycle intimately. It is a flash of brilliant inspiration, a tidal wave of motivation. You map out a new plan. You buy the new gear. You promise yourself, this time is different. For a day, maybe a week, you feel like a god, moving with purpose and power. And then it happens. The emotion fades, the initial excitement vanishes, and with it, your resolve crumbles into dust. You are left standing once again in the familiar, bitter territory of your own inconsistency, haunted by the quiet shame of another broken promise to yourself. You are a slave to the whims of your feelings, and this slavery has guaranteed that nothing you build will ever last. The diagnosis for this condition is a catastrophic failure of foundation. You have been trying to construct a skyscraper of a life upon a shifting foundation of sand. That sand is your reliance on motivation, your need to feel like it, your habit of waiting for inspiration to strike. Motivation is a spark, not a fire. It is a fleeting chemical high, completely unreliable as a building material. The man who waits for motivation to act will live and die in a world of unfinished blueprints and hollow intentions. Your problem is not a lack of potential. It is a lack of a permanent engineered process. The code that rebuilds you from the ground up is this: discipline is not punishment. It is the deliberate and ruthless construction of a new identity, the absolute freedom you crave is not found in the chaos of doing whatever you feel like. It is found, paradoxically, in the rigid, unyielding structure of the daily rituals that you currently avoid. You do not discover your stronger self. You build him, one disciplined, non-negotiable action at a time. The man you will become is not a product of a singular belief. He is the sum total of his daily automated rituals. You are what you repeatedly do. Consider the ancient Spartans. They did not become the most feared and respected warriors in the world by attending motivational seminars. They were forged. They were methodically constructed in a crucible of relentless daily discipline. From the moment they woke before dawn, their day was a sequence of non-negotiable rituals designed to build physical toughness, mental fortitude, and absolute reliability among their brothers. They did not ask themselves if they felt like training. In the cold, their identity was the training. For the Spartan, discipline was not a chore that detracted from their life. It was the very source of their legendary power and their ultimate freedom on the battlefield. This is the path. You no longer consult your feelings for permission to act. You consult your schedule. Your rituals are your new commander. You rise when the alarm sounds, not when you feel rested. You do the hard thing first, not when you feel ready. You honor the small promises you make to yourself, because that is how you build the internal trust required to achieve great things. You are no longer a man moved by the weather of your emotions. You are a man driven by the engine of your rituals. You are the architect, and discipline is your hammer, your level, and your stone. Now you will lay the first cornerstone of your new foundation. This is your declaration of allegiance, not to a fleeting feeling, but to a permanent and powerful process. Let your own voice declare your new source of power and control. My discipline is my freedom. I am built by my rituals. I do what must be done. Now feel a profound gratitude for the day ahead of you. This day, these 24 hours, is a fresh block of stone, a clean slate upon which you can begin your great work. Be grateful for the simple, hard things that are available to you: the cold water in your shower, the pull of gravity on the weights you lift, the difficult task waiting on your desk. These are not burdens. They are blessings. They are the tools. The universe has provided for you to construct the man you were born to be. Each one is a sacred opportunity to honor your own word to yourself. Your order of execution for the next 24 hours is to forge the first unbreakable link in the chain of your new discipline. Choose one single positive action that you will perform. At a specific time tomorrow, no matter what, make your bed the absolute moment your feet hit the floor. Meditate for 2 minutes before you check your phone. Do 10 push-ups before your morning coffee. The action itself is less important than the unbreakable commitment to it. Your mission is to obey your own command without debate or delay. That is the first victory. The man you admire, the version of you that commands respect from yourself and others, is not waiting for you in the distant future. He is being built in the trenches of the present moment through the sacred succession of these small disciplined actions. The self-respect that you desperately seek is not a gift. It is a wage that is earned every single time you choose the path of discipline over the path of ease. Commit to this path, the path of the builder, the path of ritual, the path that inevitably transforms the man you are today into the man you have always been destined to become. Today, the war did not end. It was made obsolete. You came here looking for a way to fight fear, but you are leaving with a code that makes the fight unnecessary. You are no longer a man who responds to fear. You are a man whose internal operating system of discipline, action, and command makes fear's signal irrelevant. You have been given the tools to redefine your enemy, to rewrite the stories in your mind, to use exposure as a weapon, to navigate by the compass of your own resistance, and to build a new identity on the bedrock of non-negotiable daily rituals. The man who hesitates has been given his final notice. Your mission is not over. It has just been clearly defined. This video is not a piece of content to be consumed and forgotten. It is a program to be installed, run, and updated daily. Your training requires repetition. Tomorrow morning, before the world has a chance to inject its own noise and doubt into your system, you will return here. You will listen to these words again. You will run this code until it becomes your automatic state of being. This is your new morning protocol. This is your mental armor. If you have not yet enlisted in this war for your own sovereignty, do so. Now, subscribe and commit to the daily work. Now, go to the comments below and make your public declaration. This is the timestamp of your decision. This is your digital signature on a new contract with yourself. Right, fear, dismissed. Finally, a commander's duty extends beyond his own victory. It is his responsibility to arm his men. Think of one man in your life who you know is capable of more but is being held back by the ghost of hesitation. Send this transmission to him. Do not explain it. Simply deliver the manual. An act of leadership is often quiet. It is the extension of a hand with a weapon that can help another man win his own war. Now go. The work begins.